Good afternoon, class, and welcome to Incorporating Theory into Your Paper. So just give me a moment here as we wait for my screen to load in terms of the sharing. There we go. For those of you that are interested, I apologize. I promised you I'd be playing a little intro music before our classes. I just haven't been able to beforehand. If anybody cares, um, the name of that song was The Look of Love. It was an instrumental and it was performed by legendary hip hop producer Jay Dilla. Okay, so getting into your class, incorporating theory into your paper. What is a theory? A theory is a tentative, well-substantiated explanation of why some aspect of the world and or humans happens based on the scientific method and repeatedly tested and confirmed through observation, research, and or experimentation. In other words, theories are formulated to explain, predict, and understand phenomena and, in many cases, to challenge and extend existing knowledge within the limits of critical bounding assumptions. As you see with the graphic below, you have understanding, and so you use, if you start on the right-hand side, you have a theory, and the theory is confirmed by reality, and then with reality, use a theory to explain it. Move forward. How does social science work? One, you make observations. Two, come up with a hypothesis to figure out why that observation is happening. Three, if you collect repeated similar hypotheses, then you form a theory. And then finally, number four, you use this theory to explain new situations. You see the graphic there. Okay, so another graphic or image just to help it bring it back home. So you start off with theory. Use theory to make a prediction. Then you design an experiment to test that prediction, followed by the performing of the experiment and observing what happens during the experiment. And then finally, create or modify the existing theory, or the theory, I should say. But wait, what is the difference between a hypothesis and a theory? And before I go further, I just want to remind everybody in the class, please make sure you check underneath the slides for the extra added notes, as there are a number of links towards videos to help support your understanding of this. So the key distinctions are: a theory predicts events in a broad, general context. A hypothesis makes a specific prediction about a specified set of circumstances. A theory has been extensively tested and is generally accepted among scholars. A hypothesis is a speculative guess that is yet to be tested, sometimes often referred to as an educated guess. So, how to find theories. One, get names of theories from your academic sources, a quick internet search of your disciplines, previous class notes, course textbooks, and or YouTube. Number two, make sure you understand the theory. And then finally, then look up the theory in the original academic secondary source. And we learned about secondary sources earlier on this year or semester. Borrowing theoretical constructs from elsewhere. A growing trend and increasingly important trend A growing and increasingly important trend in the social and behavioral sciences is to think about and attempt to understand specific research problems from an interdisciplinary perspective. One way to do this is to not rely exclusively on the theories in your particular discipline, let's say psychology, but to think about how an issue might be informed by theories developed in other disciplines. So we'll use, for example, Bandura's social learning theory, which I imagine all of you, if you're at this point and at the end of your psychology program, would have come across this. So very briefly, kids saw adults punching an inflated doll while narrating their aggressive behaviors, such as kick him. And then these kids were then put in a toy deprived situation and acted out the same behaviors they had seen. Now, let's apply this to crime. Why do people engage in crime according to social learning theory? They learn to engage in crime primarily through their association with others. They are reinforced for crime, they learn beliefs that are favorable to crime, and they are exposed to criminal models. As a consequence, they come to view crime as something that is desirable or at least justifiable in certain situations. Monkey see, monkey do. Now it's your turn. Can you think of other theories you can apply to criminal behavior? And although it was brief, that will be our class for today. Be well, be safe, be good to each other, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you for your time.